Lubbock health inspectors surprised dozens of kitchens this week looking to see who is keeping clean and who needs to clean up. They found nearly 6 dozen violations between 4 low performers.
Tonight, KCBD News Channel 11's Christy Harton tells us who landed at the bottom and why. Christy?
Karen and Abner, ask any restaurant owner or employee. They'll tell you it's really hard to get a perfect score. And this week, there are no top performers. So we get straight to those violations. Rise and Shine Donuts at 5207 98th had 17 violations. Raw eggs sitting on a shelf were above the safe cold temperature of 41 degrees. Cooked kolaches were not hot enough. Salsa did not have a date mark. A sanitizer solution was at toxic levels. There was a scrubbing pad in the hand sink. Hand sinks are for hand washing only to prevent cross-contamination. There were no paper towels at the hand sink. Putty knives used to cut dough had rusted blades. The person in charge only washed their hands for 10 seconds. They must be washed for at least 20. Containers of disinfecting wipes were above ready-to-eat tortillas. A container of hand sanitizer was stored above ready-to-eat potatoes in a fryer basket. A bottle of cough medicine was stored on a shelf above the prep table. Most of the violations were corrected at the time of the inspection. Dunkin' Donuts Baskin Robbins at 4328 50th had 16 violations. Here's a look at their priority violations. Ready-to-eat eggs in a cooler were not cold enough. Clean utensils had sticker residue on them. Dirty utensils were stored with clean ones. Utensils were cracked and melted. They must be kept in good repair. An employee did not wash their hands for at least 20 seconds. An employee returned from the restroom and did not wash their hands before returning to food prep. An employee washed their hands in a 3-compartment sink. An employee did not use a paper towel to turn off the faucet. An employee handled croissants with their bare hands. A container of liquid adhesive was stored above ready-to-eat food. Most of the violations were corrected at the time of the inspection. Burger King at 4202 82nd had 16 violations. Sliced tomatoes were above the safe cold temperature of 41 degrees. There was no timestamp showing how long the tomatoes had been sitting out. A sanitizing solution was not strong enough and there was no more available. An employee handled trash and wiped a prep table, then returned to food service but did not wash their hands before putting on gloves. A spray bottle was not labeled. Glass cleaner was stored over fryer oil. There were no paper towels available in the men's restroom. The drip tray on the soda machine was missing pieces, so it was no longer easily cleanable. An ice bucket was cracked, and the inspector notes, due to the number and the nature of the violations, management did not demonstrate proper food safety knowledge. The report shows most of the violations were corrected at the time of the inspection. Yo-Yo Japanese Restaurant at 5130 80th had 19 violations. Raw eggs sitting on a prep table were 83 degrees. The person in charge said they had been there for 11 hours. Raw squid was thawing in stagnant water. The squid was above the safe cold temperature of 41 degrees. Raw chicken and raw beef were stored above ready-to-eat foods. Pliers used for food service were not clean. Chlorine cleaning solution was not strong enough. A spray bottle was not labeled. Push carts were directly in front of a hand sink, and a scouring pad was in a hand sink. Hand sinks are for hand washing only. According to the report, most of the violations were corrected at the time of the inspection. For a complete look at all of those violations, just go to our website at kcbd.com and click on Food for Thought. Karen and Abner, back to you.
Thank you, Christy.